Playoffs race start IPL 2026 is going to begin, and it's all going to be very, very heated up in the year. We are seeing different kind of teams on paper or mari, predicted or mari, performance or mari, a lot of mix ups and everything. So looking at the table, RCB and PBKS up the order, பயங்கரமா இருக்காங்க. They're playing a league apart. யாராலுமே தொட முடியல அந்த மாதிரி ஆடிட்டு இருக்காங்க. But coming down the order, SRH and RR are closely following them in contention for the playoffs, of course. They have a slightly easier chance. But when you come to the middle, or GT, CSK, DC, they're still in contention, very much in contention for the playoffs. And also down the order, or KKR or MI, they also have a fair chance. If they win all their remaining matches, or if the top layer teams collapse, they have a slight chance to go in. So coming to the teams, for SRH Pata, they have their next game against KKR and MI, and they also have a game against LSG. So out of these three, if they win 2 games, they're already through, right? Now the question comes for the fourth spot. GT, CSK, and DC in the middle for the contention. RR already fourth spot like irukang. If possible, one of KKR or MI might come in. So let's go and look at all the games. First, we'll take up RR. RR are playing DC twice, PBKS tonight, GT once, LSG once, and MI once. Raj, what do you think? They are playing teams down the order. PBKS avara micha ellame teams down the order, but I feel they're playing teams which will be hungry enough to grab a spot in the playoffs, at least in the fourth spot. So things are not going to be easy for them. They have been inconsistent. Konja ups and downs இருக்கும். If somewhere they let it slip, they'll lose the spot in an era.
Yeah, like you said, they started off really, really well. Season ஆரம்பிக்கும்போது they probably won what 4 5 games on the trot, and then they have lost their plot a bit. நிறைய over reliance on the top order to score the runs, the top three to score the runs. அதனால they have not been able to be very, very consistent. So, and considering the type of teams that they are going against, it seems a little bit difficult as compared to the other teams in the middle who are fighting for that spot. I think CSK and even GT with the form sometimes surprises us. So you never know who grabs that fourth spot. But it seems like RR might just come down a bit.
RR might just come down a bit. I also feel that because Delhi Capitals ஓட 2 மேட்ச் ஆடுறாங்க. இந்த RR DC 2 பேருமே வந்து சேம் கைண்ட் ஆஃப் டீம்ஸ், சேம் லெவல் ஆஃப் இன்கன்சிஸ்டன்சிஸ் காட்டின்னு இருக்காங்க. So let's see how that goes. Moving on to the next team, Gujarat Titans. They won their last game against Chennai Super Kings, but we all know அவங்க டீம்லயும் நிறைய லூப் ஹோல்ஸ் இருந்துட்டு இருக்கு. சிஎஸ்கே didn't even touch any of their weaknesses. ஈஸியா ஜெயிக்க விட்டாங்க. But let me tell you something. Their next matches are up against RCB, PBKS, RR, SRH. 4 games against the top 4. இதுக்கப்புறம் they have a game against KKR and also one against CSK, which is their last league game, right? So GT versus CSK game could very well be on the number 2024 RCB versus CSK game. Whoever will win, will go into the playoffs. On the level of game மாதிரி கூட போலாம். But talking about the next 4 games alone, they are playing the top 4 teams. எனக்கு என்னமோ தோணுது that given the form RCB and PBKS are in right now, it's very difficult to beat them. அப்படின்னா you need a good combination, you need a good stability and consistency in your performance, which GT have not showed. With this lineup of next upcoming games, I feel GT might also miss out somewhere.
Yeah, like you said, they are playing the top teams, and I feel like the top teams will get the better of them. And சொன்ன மாதிரி அதான், yeah, they have their over reliance on the top three. And if you see in the middle order, Glenn Phillips hasn't, scored as well. Jason Order has just come in. So on the middle and death overs, they don't have that firepower. Even though they have that firepower in that bowling a little bit, I feel like they might just miss out because of that, over reliance on the top three. And they have a different approach to other teams. They அந்த ஒரு 200 அந்த ரேஞ்சில் தான் அடிக்கிற பார்க்குறாங்க 180 to 200 and they're trusting their bowlers to do. But I'm not sure how that will pan out against RCB and PBKS.
Fair enough. RCB and PBKS ஆடுற கிரிக்கெட்டுக்கு வந்து I don't think this will be enough 100%. அதனால தான் அந்த 2 games தோத்தாங்கனாலே அதுக்கப்புறம் மொமெண்டம் போயிடும். So let's see how GT do. If they get their combination right and if they put up a fight, it will be very, very interesting to watch out. Moving on to the next team, Delhi Capitals. Of course, நம்ம வந்து பார்த்தோம் ஆர்சிபியோட வந்து they lost the match very very badly. In fact, talking about this thing, ஜிடிக்கு சொன்னோம் ஆர்சிபி பிபிகேஸோட நெக்ஸ்ட் ரெண்டு கேம் இருக்குன்ட்டு. Delhi played their last two games against RCB and PBKS. Versus PBKS, they scored a mammoth 264. They were not able to defend it. Versus RCB, 75 all out, 7 ஓவர்ல சேஸ் பண்ணிட்டு போயிட்டாங்க. ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் வாட் ஐ பீன் சேயிங். இந்த ரெண்டு டீம்ஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப ஓவர் பவரிங்காக இருக்கு ஃபார் ஆல் தி அதர் டீம்ஸ். So looking at the other fixtures DC have, they're playing against RR, CSK, KKR, PBKS, and RR again and KKR again. So they're playing twice against RR, twice against KKR, once against CSK, and one against PBKS. So in the lineup again, RR who is like up the order, they're playing them twice. And of course KKR ஒரு மேட்ச் இருக்கு, PBKS ஓட இன்னொரு மேட்ச் இருக்கு, which is probably might not go their way, and CSK ஓட ஒரு மேட்ச் இருக்கு, which is the clash between the teams in the middle of the table. What do you think about this lineup? எனக்கு என்னமோ DC ஓட inconsistent run வச்சு unless they find and stick to that perfect combination, they will have a hard time passing this through.
Yeah, again, like you said, they have like some tough games, PVS could and RCB could but I feel like there can be some if they can get together well. The games against KKR and RR, I think they can come come out as the winner. But again, like last year, Kunjo, there seems to be inconsistencies with the performance. Kunjo if you see against the game against RCB, they lost a lot of top order wickets stuck in it. So the inconsistency is very very difficult to predict with them. So it seems like it is going to be a little bit more difficult for them.
See, on one side, their team is also inconsistent. On the other side, RCB, PBKs are also like very overpowering. But again, நம்ம முன்னாடியே சொல்லியிருக்கோம் டிசியோட inconsistency பத்தி. It has been the case in the last edition also. This year also ஒரு மாதிரி same pattern repeat ஆகுது. They really have to fix this if they have to see some success going ahead. Moving on to the next team, Chennai Super Kings. Of course, middle of the table, GT பத்தி பேசணும், TC பத்தி பேசணும். CSK are also there. They're also inconsistent. அதையும் ஃபர்ஸ்டே சொல்லிடலாம். Their next games first எடுத்தோன்னே MI ஓட வருது, and they also play a game against DC, but they have two games against Lucknow Super Giants, and then one against SRH, one against Gujarat Titans, which is their last league game. Looking at this fixture, two against Lucknow Super Giants, one against MI, and one against DC and GT. So in the middle of the table குள்ளே நிறைய clashes இருக்கு. The only team they play who is above the order is SRH typically. Otherwise, ஒரு மாதிரி the pathway to playoffs looks smooth for them. நீங்க வாங்க அப்படின்னு போட்டு வச்ச மாதிரி இருக்கு லைட்டா, பட் அந்த டீம் மட்டும் கேட்க மாட்டேன்றாங்க. It's almost like every team other than CSK is helping. DC ஒரு செட் தோக்குறாங்க, GTயும் inconsistent இருக்காங்க. Yes, they beat us, but they're also inconsistent. But CSK they're not putting in their efforts. They're also randomly changing team combinations, decision making வந்து ஒரு மாதிரி போரா இருக்கு. So they're also like on a very very inconsistent and unstable side. But looking at the next set of matches, if they somehow regroup and get everything together, I feel they can have a chance at the playoffs.
Yeah, like you said, they seem to have the easier set of matches as compared to other teams. They have like a path that they can choose, but it is going to be difficult. நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி காம்பினேஷன்ஸ் அவ்வளோ கன்சிஸ்டண்டாக இல்லை பேட்டிங் பர்ஃபார்மன்ஸ் எஸ்பெஷலி கொஞ்சம் ஹேஸ் பீன் கொஞ்சம் இங்கே இன்கன்சிஸ்டன்ட் அண்ட் தே ஹவ் நாட் பீன் ஏபிள் டு be consistent, on the trot to 2 3 wins எடுக்க they've just struggled with doing that consistently since probably what 2024, and they அந்த consistent run இல்லாதனால they are struggling to make it to the playoffs, and that's why. But I still feel they have probably like a better chance as compared to the other teams in the middle to make it to the playoffs. But it will all depend on how they play now, how consistent they are with their selections and the performance.
Mm, exactly. they have also been very off. சொன்னீங்க 2-3 கேம்ஸ் வந்து கன்சிஸ்டண்டா ஜெயிக்கிறது இல்லைன்ட்டு, 2 கேம் கன்சிஸ்டண்டா ஜெயிச்சா அந்த டீம் காம்பினேஷனை மாத்திட்டு அந்த கேம் தோத்துடுறாங்க. திஸ் ஹாஸ் பீன் த கேஸ் வித் சிஎஸ்கே. மும்பையோட ஒரு கேம் ஜெயிச்சுட்டு அடுத்த டீம் காம்பினேஷன் மாத்திட்டு ஜிடியோட தோத்துட்டாங்க. ஸோ லெட்ஸ் see how that goes for them. And of course, moving on to the last team, which is the Kolkata Knight Riders, they also have a slight outside chance. They play a lot of teams up the order, but of course they're in the bottom of the table. They play against SRH, Delhi Capitals twice, Royal Challengers Bangalore, GT and MI. So inga vandu MI and an inconsistent DC or an inconsistent GT, இது எல்லாமே வந்து a game that they can fight for a win definitely. SRH and RCB games are also there. SRH again they can fight for a win somewhere. Again they are at 5 points and the no result la vandu 1 point edge they have over the other teams like MI or LSG. So somewhere do they also have a slight chance if the other teams let it go? If in case RRும் பேட் ஆ பண்றாங்க, மிடில் இருக்கிற டீம்ஸும் பேட் ஆ பண்றாங்கன்னா somewhere do they have a slight chance to seep in?
I mean, maybe they have a slight chance. They have won the last couple of games, I think, and Rinku Singh has helped them,
Good momentum.
has helped them to, get over the line in the last couple of games. So they might, if they can pick up the momentum in the next 2 3 games against like SRH, DC, they might be able to make a comeback. But it seems a little too far still. Uh, Down the order line வரது கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டம் தான். Like they have had like a lot of issues. Rahane isn't scoring runs at the top. Um, நிறைய பேர் அவுட் ஆஃப் பிளே பொசிஷன்ல வராங்க பேட்டிங்ல. So we will have to see how it comes together at the end of the tournament. KKR have done this before. 2014 ல ஜெயிக்கும் போது
Exactly.
they won a lot of games at the back and then made it to the semis and won the final. So like next 2 3 games will decide where they will end up.
That will definitely decide. Momentum வந்து keep up பண்றது is not an easy thing, but it's a very dangerous thing also. அந்த momentumலே அப்படியே வந்து நீங்க சொன்ன மாதிரி 2014 எல்லாம் வந்து they have taken this. And another team இந்த மாதிரி வந்து டவுன் தி ஆர்டர்ல இருந்து மொமெண்டம் எடுத்துட்டு பிக்கப் பண்ணிட்டு ஃபேக் எண்ட் ஆஃப் தி சீசன் வந்து பிளே ஆஃப்ஸ் அதுக்கப்புறம் ட்ராஃபி அடிக்கிற வரைக்கும் போன டீம் நம்மளுக்கு ஃபேமஸா தெரியும், மும்பை இந்தியன்ஸ். How do you think the Mumbai Indians will fare out? I feel they have only played 7 games. 7 games இருக்கு. So even if they win 6 out of that, they'll be standing at 16 points. Somewhere எங்கேயோ சான்ஸ் கிடைக்கும். But somewhere looking at the way the management has been going, captaincy, the combinations, on the chemistry, I feel MI probably don't have a chance. What do you think about that?
Yeah, again, MI hasn't been able to be consistent, and அதான் சொன்ன மாதிரி for a lot of other teams they have been able to really play like together. அந்த நிறைய injuries-ம் இருக்கு. A lot of these teams also have injuries
Yeah,
which have not helped them be consistent as well. Rohit is not playing for Mumbai. Uh, they still have finding the combinations. Sandnoro is out of the
he's out.
IPL.
Maharaj is replacing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I don't know. So I don't know what Hardik can do to, make this team better, but yeah, it seems very, very difficult for them as well to, win six in a trot. நம்ம நிறைய இது சொல்றோம் six in the trot, five in the trot, but it's not happened in the last, 2 3 years as much. Maybe RCB in 2024.
Yeah, RCB did that.
Other than that, teams do find it difficult to win like 5, 6, 7 in a row. It is a lot more difficult.
Hmm. It is definitely becoming a lot more difficult because one of the key reasons being on the top of the order teams are way more powerful than the one in the bottom. So அவ்வளோ ஈஸியாக இருக்கிறது இல்லை. We'll wait and see how this goes, how the playoffs race pick up and how the teams pick up, என்ன momentum யூஸ் பண்றாங்க, இல்லை யார் வந்து inconsistencies fix பண்றாங்க. All of it, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see who qualifies. You also leave your thoughts and predictions in the comments, guys. Keep following us, keep stay tuned to us for more and more such videos. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter for all the updates. Thank you, Kraj, for joining. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.